Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saturday evening session of Lean Six Sigma topics, where we cover, concepts in details. Let me open my chat. Yes, good evening to everybody. People are yet to join, but let's begin our journey. The topic we are going to discuss is, if you remember, last time we discussed about the Z score and process capability calculations. So a lot of people were asking the question about, CPCPK, sir, explain CPCPK in detail. So I thought of, covering this topic today itself. So it will be a continuation of what we had started in the last week. Okay. So the people who had missed the last week's session, okay, I would highly recommend to go to the, the masterclass archive and check the recording of that, where we went detailed about how sigma is calculated, how the process capability, the Z score is calculated. Okay, very interesting session it was. How many of you were there last session? Just type me in the chat box. How many of you were there in Monday's session, Monday live session, evening? Yeah, a lot of people were there. Okay, this super. So this will be kind of a continuation of this. Okay. So let me go to my whiteboard and let me just set the foundation first, and then we'll take it from there. Okay. Now, the today's topic is CPCPK, which is very interesting topic. And a lot of questions around that topic are always asked. During even your interviews, also some questions are asked on this topic. Okay, what is CP? What is CPK? So we'll decode each and everything today. What is CP, CPK, etc., etc. Okay, and as our, wherever you have any doubt in your mind, please let me know in the chat. Okay, at the end of the session, we'll open the chat for open the Q&A for everybody, where you can unmute and ask the question. Okay. Chalo. So everybody knows that there are two types of data we have. Second. So we have two types of data. What are the two types of data generally we have? Discrete and continuous data. Everybody is aware of this, right? So first is discontinuous and then the discrete. So when it comes to types of data, okay, make a note of this. This is very interesting. We have continuous data. Now, continuous data, everybody knows, right? Like which can be depicted on a continuous scale, which can be measured on the continuous scale, right? Length, width, temperature, pressure, speed, all these things are continuous data. And on the other side, we have discrete data where, so we have a discrete data. Now, this data is a count data where we have a count number. For example, how many pieces, let's say, how many calls I received, out of which how many calls were up to the mark, how many calls were not up to the mark, how many calls solve the query of the customer, how many calls did not solve the query of the customer. So I'm counting. When I'm counting and not measuring, see the difference between this terminology. So let's say, for example, we always say go and measure the weight. We never say go and count the weight. So when we say measure, it is a continuous data, and we never say go and measure the number of people. We always say go and count the number of people. Are you understanding the difference between the terminology? Whenever it is measured, it is continuous data, and whenever it is counted, it is discrete data. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat box. All the people. So let me write here. When it is measured, and when it is counted. All right. Super. So the today's topic, what we are dealing with, is something called process capability. Okay, let me write down here. CPCPK is nothing but process capability. Okay. Now, how many of you remember the Z calculation last time we did? Monday, we did Z calculation, which is, I said, I gave the name sigma. How many of you remember sigma, like 6 sigma? That 6 number is a sigma number, and the standard deviation is a sigma number. How many of you remember that? Just give me yes in the chat box. Monday wala session, if you remember. It is also process capability calculation only. That Z calculation is process capability. See, when we say 6 sigma, that 6 number is a process capability number. Are you clear? When I say my process is 5 sigma process, that 5 number is a process capability number. Okay, now when it comes to process capability, if you have discrete data, understand this. If you have discrete data, then you have, so you have ppm. What is that? Parts per million. Make a note of this. ppm is parts per million, or DPMO, which is defects per million opportunities. Defects per million opportunities. ppm stands for parts per million and DPMO stands for defects per million opportunities. Okay. Similarly, on the other side, we have CPCPK calculation, and both CPCPK, PPPK. I'll cover both today. And PPPPK. See, one is short-term process capability, one is long-term process capability. That's it. Okay. And then we have the Z bench value, which, okay. Are you clear? So CPCPK and PPM, these are two indicators which industries used to use before Six Sigma. Okay, so this is, let me write, before Six Sigma, these indicators were being used. What is that? CPCPK and PPM wala. Okay, and after Six Sigma, now the companies who have adopted Six Sigma as a culture, they have started using DPMO and Z-bench. If you have continuous data, you are using Z-bench, and if you have discrete data, you go for DPMO. Are you clear? So today we are going to talk about CPCPK and PPPPK. Clear, everybody, wherever today's topic is standing? So you have continuous data, then CPCPK will be applicable to you. Just give me yes in the chat box. Correct. Exactly. Sadananji, you are absolutely right. Bang on. CPCPK is for the continuous data and Z-bench also for the continuous data. As far as discrete data is concerned, we have PPM, which is the older methodology, and we have DPMO, which is called a newer methodology after Six Sigma. Just take a screenshot of this so that you are clear about it before we go deeper into the concepts now. Okay, everybody till now with me? Process capability CPM, parts per million ppm, defects per million, exactly. Very good, very good. See, process capability, these all indicators of process capability only per million. Okay, CP, CPK, Z, ppm, DPM, all are process. Is my process capable enough within the specification limit or not? That is what these are the indicators. Okay, so all these are process capability indicators. Everybody with me till now? Just give me yes in the chat box. Everybody just type yes. Okay, so that we will go unfold this. We'll go deeper into this. Okay, super. Now, let's in this DMAC framework, which phase do you feel that process capability is calculated? Which phase do you see process capability is calculated? Type in the chat box. Define, measure, analyze, improve, control. Out of these 5 phases, which phase do we calculate process capability? Type in the chat box. Everybody should write the answer. Right, wrong, whatever it is. Phase. Out of define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, which phase do we calculate process capability? Measure, analyze, measure and control. Okay. Also improve. Okay. Analyze, all right. Okay. सिर्फ define बाकी है, बाकी सब आंसर आ गए इसमें. Only define is pending now. All the answers have been given. तो मेजर आ गया, एनालाइज आ गया, इंप्रूव आ गया, कंट्रोल आ गया. एवरी सी इट्स वेरी सिंपल. ओके, द फर्स्ट कैलकुलेशन ऑफ प्रोसेस कैपेबिलिटी is done in the major phase. Make a note of this. Now this process capability is done, which is before improvement. I will write before improvement. Okay, so first process capability we check in the major phase before improvement, and after implementation of it, okay, see, now it is between improve and control phase, ideally speaking, because what happens in the improve phase ends with the action plan. Understand this. At the end of the improve phase, we have a actionable action points in our hand where we start implementing, and that's where our process starts getting some improvement. All right. Okay. So ideally speaking, what I would recommend, once you stabilize your process after improvement, because it will take some time. So idealistic situation is in the control phase, you should check your after improvement process capability. Okay. Because improve phase, you may not have achieved that level which you are expecting. Are you understanding where I'm coming from here? At the end of the improve phase, we have an action plan in our hand. Then we start taking action in the process, make some changes, automation, ye, wo, training to the people and all those things. Okay. Then it will start moving to the positive direction. So that's where our control phase starts, right? So when it stabilizes at some time, the improvement, then you should calculate the process capability. So before improvement in the major phase, after improvement in the control phase, where you are calculating process capability. Are you clear? Before and improve, and then we compare whether we have improved. Earlier we were 2 sigma, now we have improved to 4 sigma. Okay, so that improvement we should see in this exercise. Clear, everybody? Just give me yes in the chat box. Funda clear hai? This is simple logic. Major phase mein we are basically calculating before improvement, and in the control phase after improvement. Okay, then we will compare the numbers between these. Okay, now coming back to the topic of the day today is Cpk. Okay, now see, statistical process control started way back. Okay, in fact, after First World War, statistical process control, one of the father of statistical process control, what I'm talking about, SPC meaning statistical process control. Okay, now I'm talking about 1930s here, almost 95 years ago. Okay, statistical process started to emerge in the industry, where industry was started to collect the data about it and put some controls on the process with the help of statistics. And that's where people like Walter Sheward, okay, very important contributor in this, Walter Sheward, you must remember the name of this gentleman. Now, Walter Sheward, who has given us statistical process control, control charts, all those things. Okay. Now, at that point in time, the process capability, whether my process is capable to deliver the exact product or service as per the customer requirement, that used to be done with the help of a formula of Cp. Okay. Now, what is Cp? Cp stands for process capability. Or we can say that potential process capability. I'll give you the formula, potential process capability. Then we'll calculate it as well. Okay. Now, let's imagine the formula for Cp is, so Cp's formula is this, USL minus LSL divided by 6 times standard deviation. This is a formula. Make a note of this. Cp's potential process capability, the formula is USL minus LSL divided by 6 standard deviation. And, industry started with this formula. All right. Now, let me give you example of this. Let's say, last time, if you remember, we had done this exercise with specification limit. Let's say target is this. This is USL, upper specification, LSL, lower specification limit. Okay. Everybody is aware of upper specification and lower specification limit. Just give me yes in the chat box. Just give me yes. Everybody is aware. Anybody in the room who does not know at all what is upper specification limit and what is lower specification limit? Everybody knows basic idea, right? This is where the customer will accept your product. If you can deliver the product within this range, then customer will accept it. Okay. Now let's imagine there is a process like this. So there is a process. I've collected some data, and this is a process like this, where upper specification limit is let's say 80 degrees centigrade. Okay. Lower specification limit is 60 degrees centigrade. And for this particular process, the standard deviation sigma for this process is, let's say, 5. Not 5. Let's consider 2 example. Okay. Let's consider sigma as 2. Now, can you calculate the CP value for this? So upper is 80, lower is 60, sigma standard deviation is 2. Can you just calculate CP value and let me know the answer for this? 6 times standard deviation. No? 6 times standard deviation. हाँ, उसको 6 से multiply करो डिनोमिनेटर को. 2 into 6, so 12, denominator will be 12. Okay. हाँ. So 1.66 would be a right answer. Correct, everybody? So 20 divided by 12, which will be 1.66. Everybody with me? सबको समझ में आया CP? So for this particular process is 1.66 capable process. CP 1.66. Everybody with me? Understood CP का formula? कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं? अपर स्पेसिफिकेशन माइनस लोअर स्पेसिफिकेशन डिवाइडेड बाय 6 टाइम्स स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन. ओके. नाउ द सेम प्रोसेस. Okay, the same process with the same sigma has shifted a little bit. Now let me draw here. Okay, standard deviation is 2 only. Only the process has completely shifted. The average has completely shifted. Are you understanding this? So earlier, the average was hitting the target. So in this case, let me draw here. So in this case, this was the average, which was exactly matching with the target. In this, the next second process, this one has shifted here, X bar has shifted on this side. Okay. Standard deviation, the variability is same, but the entire process has shifted. Now, can you calculate the CP here? Can you calculate the process capability? Can you just calculate CP? With this new process, can you just calculate CP? USL is 80. LSL is 60 only because it's a specification limit of the customer, which will remain same. Standard deviation, as I said, is 2 only, which is, process has shifted, but, but the mean has shifted. The process has shifted, but the standard deviation remains same. What is the CP value? Type in the chat box. Giriji is saying same. Sadananji is also saying the same. Okay, same. Now tell me, here on this side, can you see there are more defects getting generated as the process shifting toward the left hand side, LSL? We are generating more defects because anything which is going beyond specification limit is a defect, is a rejection. So this second process was making more defects on one side. So obviously process capability would be different, right? But CP value is not detecting the shift. Are you understanding? When the mean is shifting, the CP value is not detecting the shift of the process mean. How many of you got it? Just type yes in the chat box. Because in the formula, there is no X bar given. Have you understood? Just type yes in the chat box. There is no provision given to calculate the mean shift here. क्लियर है ये सीपी का फॉर्मूला एंड ओरिजिनल फॉर्मूला एंड द लिमिटेशन ऑफ द फॉर्मूला. सो वी कैन नॉट यूज द सीपी फॉर्मूला. सो सीपी विल टेल अस what is, yes, exactly, the formula is without x bar. The formula में x bar ही नहीं है. There is no mean considered here. Okay, so they have improvised the formula and they've calculated the process capability index, which was a modification of the formula. Okay, so yahan tak everybody with me? So let's see the modified formula, which is called as CPK. Okay, the formula is called as CPK. Exactly. So this is called as CPK. So what is CPK? CPK stands for Process Capability Index. Capability Index. Okay. Now in the CP formula, it was expected, it was understood that your X bar and the target will remain exactly the same. But in the real life, in the reality, it does not remain the same. It always shifts, right? So what statisticians did this formula, okay? So CPK is equal to, okay, so the CPK ka formula hai. So there are two formulas basically we calculate, which is, we call it as lower of, whichever is the lower of CPK. So basically what we are calculating is, so let me give you the formula and then I will explain it. So we are calculating two CPKs here. One is called CPK upper. CPK upper, the formula is this. First we calculate CPK upper, okay? The formula is this: USL minus X bar divided by 3 standard deviation. Okay, and the second formula is CPK lower. So what they're doing is they're calculating upper specification wala process capability and lower specification wala process capability. So the formula is X bar minus LSL divided by 3 standard deviation. Okay, and whichever is lower becomes CPK, which is process capability index, which is actual process capability. That CP becomes the potential process capability and CPK becomes the actual process capability. Yes, so CPK shows us the process capability only. See, central tendency meaning what? Central tendency meaning mean, mode, median. That is called central tendency. But CPK indicates the process capability considering the central tendency. It is indicating process capability considering central tendency. That will be a right way of putting it. Okay. Everybody just take a note of this formula. Yeah, with X bar. Now in this formula, there is a X bar here, which is our mean. So mean has been considered. And that's the biggest advantage we have. Have you noted this formula? Now let's do this application practically. Just give me yes in the chat box. Have you taken the screenshot or have you noted down the formula? Just give me yes. Super. Done? Very good. चलो, so हाँ, मैं बताता हूँ. मैं दोनों का भी लॉजिक हम लोग प्रैक्टिकली करके देखेंगे गिरीश जी. ओके, देन यू विल you know understand this completely in detail. Okay, okay. So let's do the same thing. Let's do the same exercise again. Let me go back to the same example we'll take. So this time, imagine. So this is my target. Okay, this is my upper specification, lower specification limit. Okay, 80 degrees centigrade and 60 degrees centigrade. Okay, now my process mean has shifted on lower side. So this is my mean. Let's imagine my mean is around 75. Oh, no, not 75. It would be around 68, let's say, for example. Okay. So let me write 68 here. So my mean has shifted to, let's say 60, 68 or 67. Let me put 67. Okay. Now the mean has been shifted on the lower side. So I am making more defects on this side because the process has shifted. Okay. Now, can you calculate, and sigma is 2. Can you calculate Cpk upper and Cpk lower both? And give me the answer in the chat. What will be Cpk upper and what will be Cpk lower? So 67 is my X bar, which is my mean, which has shifted a little bit on the lower side. Very good, Jitendra. Very fast calculation. So Cpk upper becomes 2.16, Cpk lower becomes 1.16. Everybody got these answers? And so the Cpk becomes the lower of that, which is 1.16. So that becomes your Cpk. Clear hai everybody? Just give me yes in the chat box. सुपर क्लियर है ये? सबका कैलकुलेशन सबने कैलकुलेशन किया? मैन्युअली करके देखो एक बार, करके देखो कैलकुलेशन. So Cpk lower is 1.16. So it is like, see, the strength of the chain is defined by the weakest link. So out of these two, what is the weakest link? Our Cpk lower is our weakest link, which is 1.16, and that is our process capability. How strong is my process? How capable is my process? 1.16. Because that's my weakest link, because that's where my process capability is low. It's like this, the weakest chain, the link of the chain, which will define the strength of the chain. The same funda applies over here as well. Clear? Now, let's talk about तो ये क्लियर है? चलो तो एक काम करते हैं. लेट मी शेयर विथ यू अ मिनीटैप का फाइल, और वो मिनीटैप का फाइल हमारा वो चॉकलेट वेट वाला फाइल को यूज करते हैं, इफ इट इज देयर. यस, ओके. तो हम लोग फिर मिनीटैप से सीपी के निकालेंगे. Everybody, you can just open this file which I'm sharing in the chat right now. Let me also open it. Once you opened it, let me know in the chat. File open. Okay. Open. Everybody, give me the confirmation quickly. Yes. Now the new members, I hope you have got Minitab access with you. If you don't have that, just send a message to our mentor WhatsApp number, which has been given in your chat right now. Okay. If you have any difficulty accessing the software, please send a message that I'm not able to access it. I've not yet accessed it, whatever. For it, you require at least a desktop or a laptop with you. Mobile se nahi hoga. Open na? Chalo. So let's go to stat. So we have this, chocolate weight in the grams here. So we have a lot of data. Now the lower specification is 36 gram and upper specification is, हाँ मैं एक बार फिर से शेयर करता हूँ, तो चैट में है, मैंने दिया है, लेकिन मैं फिर से एक बार शेयर करता हूँ. So this is the file I'm giving. Okay. So yeah. Now what we, so go to stat. So lower specification is 36, upper is 48. So हमको क्या करना है? Stat quality tools capability analysis normal. Stat quality tools capability analysis normal. Why normal? Because we are assuming that this data is normal distributed data. Okay. How do we check whether this data is normal distributed? Type in the chat box. How do we check whether this data is normally distributed? Everybody, just an answer, just a question for our understanding.
With the help of graphical summary.
Yeah, histogram is one. What else? What else? Good. Histogram is the answer, but what else? There is another way as well, which confirms. So histogram is yes, very good. P-value. उसको क्या कौन सा test बोलते हैं? Which test does it call? P-value.
Anderson normality test.
Sorry.
Anderson normality test.
Exactly. Anderson-Darling normality test. AD test. Very good. So एक बार करके देखते हैं AD test. Okay, before we go for process capability, where do we find AD test? Go to stat basic statistics normality test. You can see here. Stat basic statistics normality test. यहां से भी कर सकते हैं और graphical summary से भी कर सकते हैं. Graphical summary, अगर if you click on graphical summary, okay, and just check on chocolate weight, click on OK. So you will get all this statistical data. You will get histogram. So histogram is showing, yes, it is, good normal distribution can be seen here. So, but of confirmation, the statistical confirmation comes from this. So histogram is a visual confirmation that yes, this is indicating some kind of normal distribution behavior. But this is when the p-value is greater than 0.05 here, then it is called as normal distribution. Normal distribution meaning the symmetrical distribution, mean, mode, median will be in the center and very close to each other. And you can see the symmetry happening. It's called normal. And see, nature, is normally distributed. Naturally, you will get a normal distribution. Only thing is that you need to collect enough data points. So if you collect at least 30 data points in the continuous data, you can get normal distribution naturally. Clear, everybody? So this is the normal distributed data. That's why we are selecting normal in the process capability analysis. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat box. Clear hai sabko? Give me yes. Very good. Chalo, let's go to stat quality tools. Now we'll go for the capability analysis. Normal. Okay, now you select this. Stat quality tools capability analysis normal. And just select normal. Now this window will appear. So in the single column, select chocolate weight. Subgroup size, as of now, there is no subgroup size as such. So we'll just consider one only. Lower specification limit was 30. 95% confidence interval बताता हूं मैं. Lower specification is 36 grams and upper is 48 grams. Okay. %95 कॉन्फिडेंस ये वाला आप बोल रहे हो ना, ये 95% कॉन्फिडेंस इंटरवल मैं बताता हूँ. पहले हम लोग इसको करेंगे. एवरीबॉडी विथ मी. Lower specification, upper specification 36 and 48. Yes, just give me yes in the chat box. Just click on OK. and you will get Cpk value here. So for this particular data, okay, this is the Cpk value, which is 1.36. So Cpk lower was 1.39 and Cpk upper was 1.34. That's why Cpk value has been selected as 1.34. The Cp value is 1.37. So not much difference between these values. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat box. Everybody got these answers? Anybody behind, please let me know. So for this, Cpk value is 1.34. Okay. So now how do we come to know? Now there's a formula where we can check the Cpk value and the Z score. Okay. Z bench score and Cpk value का भी एक formula है. The formula is like this. The conversion formula is very simple. So when the Cpk value is 0.33, that is called as 1, Z is 1. That means a 1 sigma process. Okay. When Cpk value is 1.66, it is 2 sigma process. When Cpk value is 1, it is 3 sigma process. When Cpk value is 1.33, which is this process is very close to 1.33. So it is a 4 sigma process, guys. Okay. When it is 1.66, it is 5 sigma process. When Cpk becomes 2, then it is called as a 6 sigma process. And of course, then 2.337 sigma, 2.66 is 8 sigma, etc. It will go ahead as well. But this is a conversion also you can do as well. Clear, everybody? Just give me yes in the chat box. Super clear? Everybody? Just give me yes. No, Z bench is another way. मैं वो भी करके दिखाता हूं. इसको ही आप Z bench को भी आप कर सकते हो. Let me show you that quickly. Okay. So if you go back again, let's say I want to calculate the, you know, so long term and short term is this overall and potential, no? This within and overall. So long term, you can say overall, and this is within. So let's go back to, so Anuj, that's what I said, because let's say the example which I gave you, which is the lowest, the weakest link of the chain defines the strength. Because let's say if you pull the chain from both the direction, it will break at the weakest link. Correct? So Cpk is your process cap. So how much is your process capability? Where is your weakest link? Is it on the upper specification limit or on your lower specification limit? So wherever it is lower, that is your process capability. Are you clear with you? Are you clear with this concept? So the lowest capability of out of Cpk upper and lower is considered as the process capability, because that's where is the process is delivering more defects, is prone to deliver more defects. Okay. Exactly. Okay. Clear? Now let's go back to the Z value. If I want to calculate Z value, which we had calculated last session. Okay. If I go back to our this dialog box, edit last dialog box. How do I go there? If you can press Control E, also you can go, or you can click on this tab. Okay, just see my cursor on the left hand side top. Just click on that. Then you will come here. Go to option. In the option, you have got these two options: capability stat Cpk, or you have got the Z bench. Okay. If you click on Z bench and click on OK and click on OK, then instead of Cpk calculation, it will give you the Z bench value. Can you see here? It is very close to 4 sigma, which I said earlier, right? So Z bench value, which is 3.93, very close to 4 sigma process. Clear, everybody? Just give me yes in the chat box. Everybody with me till now? Now let me go back once again and make it to CP and CPK once again, okay? Go to option, make it CP, CPK and say okay. Okay. Now there is another point which I had mentioned, which is called PP, PPK. Okay. So PP, can you see here, this one, this part? All right. Now, what is PP, PPK? Now, CP, CPK, right? Just let's make it very simple. CP, CPK is for short term. And PP, PPK is for long term. Long term. Now, what is short term and what is long term? So this is a question which is asked, just for our simple calculation. Everybody sees the the share market ups and downs every day, right? Every share, every stock of the company goes up and down every day in the market. So there is an intraday fluctuation, correct? Within the day, there is a fluctuation of the rate. Are you clear, everybody? So it is also process capability only, but it is for the long-term process capability. Okay. Same, the process capability, potential process capability long-term and process capability index long-term. इस प्रकार से आप बोल सकते हो, ठीक है? Now coming back, let's understand in a broader sense what is short term. So it is a short term fluctuation in every day, and the long term also. If I consider a 1 year span, that share value would have gone either up or would have gone down over the longer duration of time. That is called a long-term process capability. If I take a longer span, then I would say it is a long-term process capability. If I take a shorter span, then it will be called as a short-term process capability. Generally, CPK is calculated as a short-term because generally we, in the production systems or any systems, we immediately have to fix the problems and, calculate what is the indicator. That's where the CPK is most widely used, this one. But for the customer point of view, understand this. Customer is not interested in your CPK. So it looks like this. CPK is just like your intraday trader, and PPK is just like an investor. So investor is seeing the long-term potential of the this one. Okay. So the investor is interested in checking how far this stock or this company has performed. Okay, for how many months, how many years this has gone up steadily. There will be smaller fluctuations, but that will be short-term fluctuation over the longer period of time. Okay, you must check the Nifty indicator, Nifty 50 indicator, or Sensex for that matter. So those are, if you check the long-term indicator, last 5 years, 10 years indicator, you will see an upward trend growing because our economy is going up. So it is indicating that any nation where the stock exchange index is showing the upward trend, it is showing that economy is going very well. Okay, if it is horizontal, that means economy is not growing that well. Okay, so this is called short term and long term. The process is absolutely, the formula is absolutely the same. CPK and PPK, exactly the same formula. Now the biggest question is how you define short term and how you define long term. See, short term is very simple. Our daily production, our weekly, monthly, even that also you can consider short term. But what is long term? That's the biggest question. And the answer to that is not a specific number. A lot of people get confused. Shall I consider 6 months as a long term, or 1 year as a long term, or 3 month as a long term? Okay, so the answer to that question is long term meaning. Now understand this. This is very, very interesting explanation. Long term meaning whichever data set can encompass, listen to me very carefully, whichever data set can encompass all the potential highest value fluctuations. Okay, that means highest and the lowest values, if that can encompass within that. Let's say, for example, um, let me give you example of the cold drink sales. Okay, now cold drink sales goes up during the summer season and goes down during the winter season naturally. Okay, now so to understand the performance of the cold drink sales process, you have to consider at least 1 year data, and that becomes my long-term process capability. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. So for that example, 1 year becomes my long-term data set. So I will pick up 1 year data and I will calculate a process capability that will become a long. So whichever data set encompasses my highest values, highest and the lowest values, okay, all the peaks and the valleys, that is called as the long-term data set. Clear, right? So it's not like 30 days or 50 days or 60 days or 1 month or 2 months or 5 months is long-term. It can be something like 1 week also can be long-term, or it can be 10 years also can be long-term. So it depends on process to process. Only thing is that it should encompass all those highs and lows. Okay. So see what happens is, so they have done in the PPAP, they have made it kind of 300 numbers, because what happens in the automotive sector, they have gone a little advanced now because of lot of data and statistical analysis over the longer period of time. Now they have frozen those kinds of things. Okay. Yes. So, but only thing is that understand the fundamental definition of it. So long term does not always mean some specific number. Okay. In some cases, if it is defined, that's good. But if not, then it should. So our understanding should be it should encompass at least a longer duration of time. Okay. 30 data points. Anshumanji 30. So always consider this. Mean, mode, variance, variance, standard deviation, Cpk Pp Ppk. Sorry, Cpk. At least minimum 30 data points you should consider. Okay. Yes, depends on segment to segment. It varies. Clear everybody with me? Cpk Pp Ppk clear to you? Just give me yes in the chat box. Clear hai? Just give me yes. 30 इसलिए because according to central limit theorem, which is a statistical theorem, okay, when you collect 30 data points, generally you start to get the normal distribution data. Okay, that's the reason 30 data point. It is the central limit theorem is the name of the theorem. Okay, formula is same. How the system has calculated now? Is it lesser? Now here, understand this. What is happening here is there is something called overall and within. Why this calculation? That's a very good question, Mr. Prasanna. Then the data is same. Then how it is calculated? Because there are two. This one, okay. One is called within, and one is called overall. Let me just quickly explain this, just to what is overall. If you go back to the data, okay, let me take you to the data just to explain first the data. See, on one side, you can see here, there is column 2, C2 column 2, which is showing that they have taken some subgroup samples here. They have taken some group of samples. Okay. So imagine there is a pool of, a pool of chocolates here. And they have taken sample number 1, sample number 2, sample number 3. So what is this, what is this? So there is within also there is some variation. Okay. So this variation, if you consider, and if I take the average of this variation, that is called as within standard, sorry, within, not within, okay, sigma within, okay. And if I'm not consider these subgroups, 1, 2, 3, if I consider overall as a whole set of chocolates, then that is called as overall. Are you clear? So if I take sample number 1, I calculate standard deviation. I calculate sample number 2, I calculate standard deviation, and then I take the average of this. That becomes sigma within. And if I take the overall, then it becomes sigma overall. If I mix all the chocolates and take the overall standard deviation, that becomes sigma overall. So for the long-term process capability, they are using this overall sigma standard deviation. And for the short-term process capability, they are using this within process capability, because within is a short term, not short span, subgroup. Okay. So they are using this standard deviation within, and for overall, they are using standard deviation overall. That's the only difference for the long term. Okay. Clear? That's why it is the same data. It is showing Cpk and the Pp as well. Pp. Clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Prasanna, are you clear with this? Should there be considerable? Yeah. Now, when, understand, that's a very good question. When there is a considerable difference between, let me go back to the, now, if there is a very good considerable difference, yes, mixed sample is overall, and within each sample, okay? If there is a huge difference between these two standards, can you see here? If you see, overall is 1.6 and within is 1.46. Okay, so almost a 0.18 ka difference hai isme. Okay, that may not be that significant, but if there is a significant difference, that means some special cause variation is present in the process. It's an indication of that. Okay. If there is a considerable difference between a overall and within standard deviation, then it might be an indicator of a special cause variation. Okay, so you can check out what is the special cause variation in the process. Okay. Now there is a sigma shift, 1.5 sigma shift. That is also very good point what Harris Ali has mentioned. Now, what is sigma shift? Understand that these are all the concepts by the statistician, just for your understanding. For short term, understand this. For short term, let's say, they say that if short term your process is, let's say, 5 sigma process, let's say for a short duration of time, then for the long term, it will reduce to 3.5 sigma, because what is the logic behind it? In the short term, you may not have all the extreme values. Okay, but in the long term, you have all the extreme values. Because extreme values are high, that's why your process capability goes down. See, you remember last time we discussed that 6 sigma, we have to reduce this, which is sigma, and as it goes down, standard deviation goes down, the process capability number goes up. The 6 will go up. Okay. Similarly, when in the longer run, when we have the extreme values in the data set, then our standard deviation will increase. As our standard deviation will increase, naturally, there will be a fall in the long term about the process capability. That's what they say. So this shift is called as 1.5 sigma shift. Okay. Now, why only 1.5? Statisticians, after a long what you can say, calculations and permutations, etc., have decided 1.5 sigma shift is naturally can be seen. Okay, there is no kind of a formula to calculate this, but as per their calculation over the longer period of time, they have considered that 1.5. They observe that over the longer period of time, you will see it will drop down to 1.5 sigma level. Okay, that's how the 1.5 sigma shift can be explained. So it's a long term and short. Yeah, kind of thumb rule you can say. Yeah. 1.5 sigma shift. Clear, everybody? So Cpk now clear hai? Just give me yes in the chat box. Super clear. Very good questions, by the way, in the chat. Okay, very good questions. समझ में आया कुछ? वेरी गुड, सुपर क्लियर, फंटास्टिक, अमेजिंग. Any question which is unanswered, please let me know in the chat. No question, very good. See, there could be two reasons for no questions. One is you have understood everything. हाँ, CM and okay, CM का सी ये हाँ, मैं उसके बारे में भी मैं एक बार बताऊंगा आपको. यहाँ पे एक CPM करके भी है, CPM. ओके, ये है थोड़ा सा, इसमें ना टारगेट आपने वैल्यू दिया ना, तो यहाँ पे CPM वैल्यू भी कैलकुलेट होकर आता है. CPM वैल्यू, सी CPM इफ यू गिव. हाँ, प्लीज पवन जी, यू कैन जस्ट अनम्यूट एंड आस्क द क्वेश्चन प्लीज.
Hello, good evening, sir.
यस यस, बोलिए बोलिए.
Sir, my question is first related to that normality test.
हाँ
As I am working in the pharmaceutical industry, what happens? We test the finished product, means the drug. Okay.
हाँ
So, my specification limit is, suppose example, 0.5 is my specification limit, not more than 0.5.
ओके
And all the results which I gain, which I obtain are less than 0.10. Okay, so
Okay.
it is far away from the specification. So what happens whenever I calculate the normality, it shows less than 0.05. But whenever I try for the process capability directly without data transformation, process capability value goes more than 1.33. So my question is, should I transform the data or should I directly go for the process
No,
capability without transformation?
if the process capability is already 1.33, it is showing that's a good indicator, right? You're already at 4 sigma level.
Okay,
So why
but
you
what?
transform the data?
Yeah, but my SOP says if the normality is less than 0.05, I have to transform the data.
Okay,
That is,
your not, data is not coming normal distributed, is it? So data is
yes,
non-normal.
yes, sir.
Okay. So have you done it? Can you just share the screen?
Right now I'm on mobile, sir. Just
Okay.
reached home.
Got it. Maybe what you can do is that's a good case to study. Okay. See, data transformation is, I would say, it's an operation. Okay. Operation meaning when the physician suggests the operation, it's the last resort. So what we suggest generally, just check the sample size. If by increasing some samples, you can get some normality. If not, there are some other ways as well. For example, yeah, Boxcock said Johnson transformation. So if you can do this, so nowadays you transform the data and then you check the process capability. Is it like you're doing right now?
Yes, sir. By transforming the data and without transforming it, both way I check.
Okay. So what you can do now? Just check. Just share your this one, your study over here on
Okay.
your, because you don't have right now in front of you. Just take the screenshot if possible and just share it with on the number. And specifically, we can guide you exactly whether you should transform the data or not. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Transform is a last resort. अगर कोई भी
Yes.
सब ऑप्शन खत्म हो जाते हैं तब ऑपरेशन करते हैं डॉक्टर्स. ओके, अदरवाइज we have some other ways to deal that. Okay.
Okay. In that case, what happens, sir? I make anytime that justification that without transforming, I am getting 1.33 or more than 1.33. That's why I have not transformed the data.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. So, see, if my process is showing capable and you are saying that 0.5 is my specification limit and my all
Yes.
the average is coming 0.1. Okay. So that means I'm already within the specification. It is 4 sigma process. So I would be more than happy. See, understand this. What happens is a lot of times people use statistics because there is a formula available, because there is something I can do, some excitement is there. Okay. I would say if the process is giving you a stable result, don't try to do a lot of things around this. That would be indicator. Okay. That would be
Okay.
suggested.
Okay.
Yeah.
And another thing is that, sir, for overall and within process capability, meaning while in the control chart that special causes are considered in the overall process capability,
No,
such
no.
cases there.
No. What I said, if you see there is a huge difference between overall and within process capability, that is an indicator that there is a possibility that there would be a special cause variation present in the process that needs investigation. Okay, it's an
Okay.
indicator. It's a graphical indicator.
Okay, but it is not like the case. That case means within means it is not considering the special causes, and overall means by considering the special causes. This is not the case, right, sir?
No, this is not the case. This is not the case. No.
Okay.
So we have to go for the control chart and check whether any data points or any set of data points going outside of the control limits. Okay, it's just one
Yes.
indicator. Just like viral fever, हमको temperature से पता चलता है ना. Once the temperature is going up, it's an indicator that there could be some viral infection in the body. It is like that. That requires investigation. Then we go for the blood test and all. No? Similarly, we have to go for the control chart. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. And whichever, see, after live sessions, whenever you have any doubts, no, just send a WhatsApp message on the number and we will be more than happy. Okay. During the day, also, a lot of people ask the questions and get their clarity. Okay. It's not only the live sessions you should ask the question. Okay. But good.
Okay.
Your quality of questions are very nice.
Thank you.
So, yeah, all the best. If the tolerance is one side, should we convert it into bilateral? No, not required. अभी करके देखते हैं ना. Let's say, for example, गिरीश जी हम लोग करके देखते हैं. तो let's say if I go back और मैं ना lower specification upper का हटा देता हूँ. Okay, only one specification रखता हूँ. Say okay. तो यहाँ पे देखिए क्या हुआ है. इस प्रकार से CPL कैलकुलेट, तो CPU कैलकुलेट नहीं होगा बिकॉज देयर नो अपर स्पेसिफिकेशन लिमिट. सो एक साइड ही कैलकुलेट होगा एंड दैट विल बी प्रोसेस कैपेबिलिटी इंडिकेटर. एंड व्हाट विल हैपन टू माय Z स्कोर if I go to option and just check it to the Z score, say okay. So this is my Z score, which is my 4.18. Okay, when I have only one sided specification. Okay, see, performance is the indicators. Very good. See, performance indicators. इसके लिए ना, I would recommend there is one session I had taken. ये सभी के लिए every formula. Okay, every formula there is a okay in the master class archive में जाके okay for each and every formula. For example, ये sample mean, standard deviation overall, standard deviation within, Z bench, Z LSL, Z USL, PPK, CPM, each and every formula उसके लिए एक सेशन लिया था. वो सेशन का the session's name I think was process capability decoded. Okay, और process capability mini tab decoded. ये एक बार आप सर्च करिए, उसमें सब कुछ एवरीथिंग, हाउ टू कैलकुलेट पीपीएम, हाउ टू कैलकुलेट दिस पीपीएम ऑब्जर्व, पीपीएम ओवरऑल, पीपीएम विद इन, एवरीथिंग इज कैलकुलेटेड. ओके, विथ फॉर्मूला, उसके फॉर्मूला भी दिए हुए. तो दैट विल बी अ ग्रेट दिस वन फॉर यू गाइस. ओके, इफ पॉसिबल मैं सबको इसमें डाल दूंगा, वो उस सेशन का लिंक है ना, अपने व्हाट्सएप कम्युनिटी में डाल दूंगा, सो दैट यू कैन check that out. Okay, ये सभी जितने दिख रहे, whatever you are observing ना, each and every calculation is there in that session. Okay, that will be a great session for you to check. If the data in the data we have 12 sets of sample, then we can check CP by considering subgroup size 12. So now if you want to check that, you can select sample over there and check what are the differences coming. Okay, for example, if I go there, here if you remember subgroup size, if we consider only one. Okay, so instead of that, just select sample data and put 48 and click on OK. So now the process capability is calculated with the help of those kinds of grouping. Okay, the same thing. I'm just opening that. Instead of 12, no, you can just put that sample वाला column where it is already calculated by 12 से ही calculate किया हुआ है. Okay, वो आप try करके देखिए. ठीक है जी, सुपर। ओके, एनी अदर? हाँ, सी वो है ना, दिस इज वेयर उसका फॉर्मूला है, मैं आपको देता हूं, 1 मिनट रुको। सीपीएम का फॉर्मूला था मेरे पास, लेट मी जस्ट चेक एंड गिव यू। फिर वो भी इंप्लीमेंट किया था, इंक्लूड किया है, तो मैं दिखाता हूँ। अगर नहीं है तो आई विल जस्ट शेयर विथ यू ऑन द व्हाट्सएप नंबर, सबको शेयर कर दूंगा, ठीक है? सो यू गाइस कैन चेक दैट। हाँ, डेटा फाइल में फिर से शेयर करता हूँ, वही सेम अपना वो इसका फाइल है ना, प्रोसेस के नॉर्मल चॉकलेट वेट वाला फाइल। ओके, हाँ। मीनवाइल ये जो इसका जो मैंने बताया था ना, दिस वन, ओके, दिस सीपीएम वाला। सो सीपीएम क्या है? ये जो टारगेट अगर हम लोगों ने सेट किया, लेट्स से इफ आई गो बैक एंड if I set a target here, go to option, and can you see here target? Let's say for example, if I put target as 42, let's say here, go to option, जहां पे हम लोग सीपी के पीपी के कैलकुलेट करते हैं, यहाँ पे टारगेट आपने डाला 42, तो वो टारगेट को कंसिडर करके व्हाट इज योर प्रोसेस कैपेबिलिटी, वो टारगेट भी कंसिडर करता है उसमें। ओके, सो जस्ट क्लिक ऑन ओके एंड क्लिक ऑन ओके। So here you will find out CPM as well, which is 1.21. See, understand this. So you decide which indicator you want to compare. It's very simple. If you want to compare CPK in the major phase, in improve phase also you should consider CPK only. If you are considering Z bench, in the improve phase also you should compare with Z bench. So it should be apple to apple comparison. Clear everybody? हाँ, 95% कॉन्फिडेंस इंटरवल का बता रहा था मैं। सो दिस वाज दिस वन, ओके। सो बेसिक स्टैटिस्टिक्स में सी, सो इफ यू सी दिस 95% कॉन्फिडेंस इंटरवल ऑफ मीन, so what is this 95% confidence interval? So with 95% confidence, okay, this is actually inferential statistics. So it is inferential statistics, which indicates, see, this is descriptive. On the basis of sample, the software is calculating. This is descriptive statistics. Okay. So this is descriptive. What is the mean? What is median? What is mode? What is standard deviation? Is descriptive statistics. On the basis of the descriptive statistics with 95% confidence. So this is about the sample. We are predicting the behavior of the population. The probability that with 95% confidence, the mean of the population will lie between 41.8 to 42.4. That is what is 95% confidence interval. The median of the population will lie between 41.58 to 42.32. Okay. The standard deviation of the population will lie between 1.46 to 1.88. Okay, this is what the 95%, and there is a formula to calculate it. Okay, formula भी होता है calculate करने के लिए, तीनों का formula है. This is we are predicting the behavior of the population. Okay, so long term कुछ decisions अगर हमें लेने हैं तो we can consider 95% calculation as well. Clear है everybody? Just give me yes in the chat box. Very nice question and answer going on. I love it. It is not advisable to increase your confidence level. It is called confidence level basically. 95% is the confidence level. Okay. And CI meaning confidence interval. Okay. Now it is like, for example, if you have 100 pieces, out of which you check all the 100 pieces. So you don't need 95% confidence interval because you have considered 100% quality checking. Okay. But if you are taking some sample and sample size is very low, then your confidence can go down. If your sample size is very high, let's say out of 100, you check 75, then you can consider 95, 96, 97. So see, generally 90%, 95%, 99% are generally considered confidence levels. But most of the times 95% is only considered. Okay, most of the times. Super. Chaliye, thank you very much for connecting today. We will connect again on Monday with a new topic with the same enthusiasm. Tomorrow there is a yellow belt session live happening in the morning. So if you have any referral person, if you want to refer your colleague, friend, and get the 40% referral bonus with that, please check out the details sent on the WhatsApp number. You will be getting the message very shortly. Okay. So thank you very much for joining in till the time. Keep learning, keep growing. This is Dinesh Patil signing off. Take care. Bye-bye. Good night.